Good morning, family. Today is my grounding day, so you guys are along for the ride while I ground. But I do have some insight for you, so of course the camera is out and I'm gonna record it. We'll get into it in just a second. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Jen Simone, and I am your earthly spirit guide, here to get you prepared for Ascension. So welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're not here, if you have never been here before, and if you are not new to the channel, hey family. Now let's get into this GodSip, okay? Now, of course, like I said, today's grounding day. When I ground, it is a process. I looked at it as it's a whole ceremony. So I want to be outdoors. I want, comfortable seating. I want, that good environment. I want to feel connected, so to speak, right? So this was a good grounding day. I got some journaling done. It's been very nice, but even more productive for you guys, because I love when the Lord just puts on my heart what He wants me to talk about, and when it comes out, it free flows. There will be no writing out a script, coming up with what to say. No, because nobody really wants to learn from someone who's textbook teaching. I'm not a textbook teacher. I have learned all of my wisdom from my interaction with God personally, and that is how you're going to interact with God. And the way that I'm going to interact with you is by allowing you to connect with my energy so that you can fully connect to your energy, so that now we both can be connected to source energy. Alright, so that's going to be the process. But today what I wanted to talk about was some of the aspects of the growing process, because you hear everyone talk about Ascension. They talk about the abundance factor, the fulfillment factor, all these good things, the rebirth. But you don't really hear them tell you too much about the process, the shedding process. And that, I feel like, is the most important process. When you're shedding yourself, you're going through so many revamps of who you are, who you used to be, who you want to be, who you are truly supposed to be. Was that even you before? It's so much that comes with the shedding process. So it is really important to take good care of yourself while you are going through it, not only physically, but mentally and emotionally, but to also show yourself compassion. You have to. Because without that level of compassion for yourself, this path will not allow you to walk it. Because it will not be the world that beats you down. It will be you. It will be you thinking that you're not worthy of what you're seeking. And it will cause you to quit your walk. And there's nothing in quitting it. Because honestly, this is what we're here to do. So when you quit your walk, you're pretty much deciding to do nothing. And when you do nothing, you get nothing. So, the aspect that I wanted to talk about today was how difficult it is sometimes for you to have to go through the process of being okay with the uncomfortability, with the changes, with the setbacks, and even the failures while you're going through these seasons of change. Because we as humans build up this idea of what success looks like. We make it seem like it's a trajectory type thing where it's just, it's supposed to go up. You're supposed to get on the road and drive down that road, and then you get to your destination and aha, success. And success does not look like that. It never really does. If you look at any gurus, any successful wealthy people, they tell you that there was a building process. Now, a lot of times they don't go into what the building process looks like. They'd rather uphold the superficial facade of what success would look like. But there's a road there. And it's going to have its turns, twists, curves, all of that. Because that is the process. The growth process is one of ups and downs. But through that process of seeking success, we have to learn to be okay with the things that don't go the way we want them to go. Now, as someone who is clairvoyant, there's so much that I can see that are to come. For a while that worked against me. I'm going to tell you, it worked against me so hard. And it's because I had so much information as far as where I knew things could go that I would start projects early. This was a lesson. It took me a while to learn it. It took me a while to learn this lesson. I would start projects early because I knew this is the project. I knew. Before I stepped into my purpose, I knew what my purpose was, so I was trying to get to the purpose. But you can't get to the purpose until you are mentally strong enough to be able to fulfill that. So when you think, oh, no, I got this. Like, give me the ball, put me in, coach. Sometimes that's going to work against you way worse than anything else. Because if you are not mentally ready to fulfill the task at hand, you may just fumble it. And I didn't get to the point of fumbling the task. I just found that even though I was ready to start it, even though I got everything that I needed to get done, like prepared, and I'm ready, and I'm like, yeah, I'm excited, I found it to be slow. I found it to be tedious in some ways. I found it to be uncomfortable, and I mean extreme uncomfortability. And it was only due to the fact that I'm starting projects on my time, not on the Lord's time. Not to mention, if I'm doing a project, why is it I'm doing a project? I'm supposed to be a co-creator. I'm supposed to be working with God with everything that I do. So if I'm starting a project and the Lord's not holding my hand with me, what am I doing? I had to learn that throughout this growth process, that you're not necessarily having setbacks. You're not necessarily having failures. You're not necessarily going through uncomfortabilities. You may be in a season of weight. You may be in a season of, you're jumping the gun. There's a lot that goes into it. And for you to take a step back, sit with yourself, and realize that our time does not matter, that the Lord's time matters, because everything is structured within seasons. That's when you truly start to understand that there's comfort in allowing. That with change, there does not have to be uncomfortable. That a setback does not have to be viewed as something that you're losing out on. And failures don't have to look like something that was taken from you. A failure can look like a learning process. So a lot of what comes out of this is revamping how you internalize and how you view the world. Because the world has projected an idea of what you're supposed to think, what you're supposed to feel in certain aspects, what you're supposed to be okay with. And a lot of it is wrong. A lot of it is built to work against you. So as you start to understand that, you know what, these systems that I've grown accustomed to, that I've allowed myself to be a part of for so long, are what's working against me, are what's slowing me down, are what is preventing me from really stepping into that area of comfortability and fulfillment within myself. Then you start making a whole lot of moves. I just got a vision of going to the beach. When you go to the beach and you are close to the shoreline and you get in the water, those waves, depending on how far in or out you are, the waves can hit you very heavily. And I feel like that is the growth process. That if the Lord is the ocean and his job is to pull you out of being on land, and you are still close to that border part, when the waves hit you, sometimes it's going to hit you hard. Sometimes it's going to push you back in and then pull you back out. Sometimes that is going to be so messy. But once you get out of that riptide zone, you're no longer in that push-pull reality anymore. You are in your co-creation. You are in your connection to the divinity. You are in flow. You are flowing. I'm going to try not to make this video too long, but yes, my downloads, they pay. This is what we're aiming for when it comes to getting on your path. Walking in ascension, walking in divinity, because that's also the biggest factor. We as souls should be walking in our divine essence. You should carry yourself a certain way, and you should live by a certain set of standards. And as you start to do that as well, you become someone who is self-assured and knowledgeable as to who you truly are, because you cannot be authentic if you decide to not unlearn to learn who you are, because 9 times out of 10 who you portray yourself to be is not necessarily who you are. And for a long time I understood that very well. It's one of the reasons why before Reset, y'all probably did not see me on social media. If you've known me back before my Ascension, you know that I wasn't really a big social media person. I could care less about it, and it was because since I was young, since the internet boomed, it was never real to me. And it was because I've always maintained a level of authenticity that I knew the world did not nurture within me, because I knew who I was and I knew who I wasn't going to be. I'd rather remove myself from the things I know I'm not than to participate for the sake of being a part of the mass. So for a long time, if you met me, if you know who I am, then you know me most likely authentically. But if you did not, if you followed me on social media, you never had a chance to interact with me, you don't know who I am, you have no idea what I do, you know, maybe I got an idea that I'm a gym rat, you would not know who I truly am. And that is by design. It takes a level of you understanding who you are for you to be able to understand who I am. And without that level of wanting to get to know yourself, you're gonna miss me. No, you're gonna walk right past me in the street. You'll never even see me, and it's because you're not supposed to. You'll only see me when you're supposed to see me. Now I digress. Yeah. We all want to be successful. We all do. In every aspect of our life. You want to be a successful business owner, maybe a successful philanthropist, a successful, millionaire in some cases, successful parent. But we have to be okay with understanding that success is not an overnight type of thing. But success does not have to look like grinding until you are worn out either. When you understand yourself, your idea of success changes. I've never had a desire to become a millionaire because I know that, like I said, new level, new devils. I just never did. I've always been kind of like one of those people. I like my, being private. I like my small things. Little things make me happy. And that's something I've always known about myself. I like little things, little gestures. Acts of service. Like, I'm a very solitary and peaceful person. Give me peace and we will be friends forever. But as far as fulfillment, there are things that bring me fulfillment. I love to help. I love being in good company. I love sharing the wisdom and knowledge that I have. I love being able to help uplift any soul that I'm able to have within proximity. So with that being said, I hunt for that. And through that, I find success. So instead of looking for success, I look for the opportunities for me to find joy and happiness. And through that is where I find my success. And this is why being okay with being uncomfortable and learning who you are is the most important part of this journey. Embrace it.